this part of the demo, I will be showing you how to manipulate an object to kind of change the basic shape of it. And this will really help enhance the complex object we're going to do. So let's start with a sphere, and I'm going to hit Create, Polygon Primitive, Sphere. I'll check the options just to be, I don't have to, but radius is 1. I'll make it bigger. I'll make it 2, and I'll hit Create. Boom. And there's my sphere. I'm going to zoom in, Alt right click, and zoom way in so I can just see it all. And now notice there is a green, red, and blue arrow here. That's because I'm ready to move this. So there's 3 ways you can manipulate this. Remember, Maya works in 3s. So there is 3 ways to navigate. I can rotate, track, and zoom. And there are 3 ways to manipulate. There is move, rotate, which looks like this, or scale. And I'm actually going to start with scale. Now, to hit move, rotate, and scale, you can use the keys on your keyboard. Just plain old W goes to move, plain old E goes to rotate, and plain old R goes to scale. So W-E-R, move, rotate, scale. Now what's confusing is R is scale, R is not rotate. Why? I don't know. But hopefully also you're noticing up here in the left corner, I have move, and all of a sudden it jumps to there. Rotate, and it jumps to this button right here, or, scale, and it hits this button right here. Now if I wanted to go back to my normal arrow and not see these anymore, I can click on this arrow here, or I can press Q. So I can either click on these things, move, rotate, scale, or I can hit move, rotate, scale with my W-E-R, W-E-R, R-E-W. And what I can do here is I can move this sphere up with the green arrow, side to side with the red arrow, and front to back with the blue arrow. Now these colors are corresponding to the dimensions X, Y, and Z. So X is red, always remember X is red, Y is green, and Z, or front and back, is blue. So I can move it up and to the right, or to the left, wherever I want, or in front, or back. So I'll move him back there like that. I'll move him more over here, like that. So there's my object in space. I highly recommend you don't do this. If I wanted to bring him back to the origin, I would pull him first with the blue, then I would pull him with the red. I would not recommend, if I wanted to try and put him back in that same spot, I would not recommend grabbing him in the middle and moving him in 3 dimensions. See, I'm trying to push him back, but Maya thinks I want to move him forward. This middle move control is very dangerous, and I highly recommend you do not do it. I will discover problems in your models if you're using this too much. So move it 1 dimension at a time. It makes your life easier and it'll not nip you in the butt later. So that's how you move. Rotating is, again, by pressing E. A yellow one is a universal rotate, and again, I do not recommend it. If I grab the yellow one, it moves all 3 dimensions all at once. You can see it happening over here in my channel box, but what you want to do is you want to do it 1 at a time. So by grabbing each color, I can rotate it along its axis. Now, notice the green one rotates it around its own y-axis. So this is what's called a local control. So it's rotating it along its own up and down axis here. The move control is what's called a global control. So moving it always relates to the world, but rotating it always relates to itself. It's not too important. You just need to know that it's rotating in regards to itself, not to the world. And do it 1 dimension at a time. Never do all 3 at once. It'll just be a big mess. And then lastly, the other tool you can use is we have move, we have rotate, and we have scale. Now scale, you can do all 3 dimensions at once. So if I grab this and just blow it up, it'll just enlarge it equally on all sides. Or, I'll undo that, I could, if I wanted to squish him down, just kind of flatten it in 1 dimension, or I could flatten it in 2 dimensions to give it kind of like a football shape, or I can just squeeze it all the way down so it's like this tiny little bleh. That's a technical term, by the way. So you can manipulate and scale objects in all 3 dimensions, which really can kind of change the shape of that object. And here's where the magic of your project is going to really take shape, is how well you scale the objects to fit. Right? So I've changed the sphere into a football. If I really change it a little bit more, now it's kind of taking the shape of a boat or a submarine or a plane fuselage or so many other things. All right. And so remember, WER, or move, rotate, and scale. WER, move, scale, rotate.